In modern culture, there's a fascination with the brain. It's really interesting and fascinating, and a lot of people working on it, and they'll never finish working on it because the brain is, beyond the physical organ and so on and so forth. But in ancient cultures, the heart was above the brain. As a matter of fact, once I liked the idea of bowing, and I was using it with a group of people. We were bowing to each other as a way of recognizing and respecting the other person as a person of genius who's wounded. That's what we were doing. And then there was a woman from China who was there, and at a break she came up and said, I love this bowing thing. It's really great. It really works. But do you know how to bow? And I said, well, I don't know. Whatever I learned in school or something. But she showed me how to bow deeply, and that the key to bowing was the head went below and the heart came above. That was the dynamic of the bow. And so in modern culture, the head with its brain and its connection to objective knowledge and subject-object dynamics is in charge. But in change and transformation, the heart goes above the head. So I just want to put that in there. There's another old saying that says, to be a genuine human means to be heartbroken. So the heartbreaks in our life can also be seen as the cracking open of the shell around the heart. And so meaningful work or any meaningful path is going to lead to heartbreak. It's part, I'm just mentioning. And then the idea is that those things that touch us most deeply, things that we take to heart, also take us into our own woundedness and brokenness. And that's not wrong. That's the right way to go. And then one I mentioned once before, I'll bring it back. The old idea is that there's two levels of vision. And one level is 20/20 or 20/40, whatever you happen to have, vision with the eyes that open at birth. And then later, the rites of passage are supposed to open the inner eyes, which are considered to be in the heart. And so it used to be that an initiated person had the inner eyes of their heart open. And so one of the tests for if we're experimenting with rites of passage and initiation process, you can see that one of the tests would be, are the eyes of the heart opening, or are the powers of the ego being cemented? Is the sense of empathy for the suffering of others growing, and is compassion becoming part of the practice, whatever the practice is? Would be a way for those who are guiding and those who are being helped along the way. Those are ways to check on it. And when we're doing that work, we do a nightly check-in on where we are at. And is anybody getting too full of themselves? And have we, if someone could be difficult to deal with, does anybody have a feeling or empathy for that person that we're all finding difficult? That's a big part of the conversation, so that we don't just wind up. When I was talking about the sweat lodge is a really powerful ritual. And what happens in the sweating and the cooking is it cooks whatever is in the sweat lodge. So when people are all breaking down and crying and everybody's sharing, their concerns for their family and what's hurting them and stuff they struggle with every day in their life, and all that stuff's coming out, then that's being released into the fire and the smoke, and the songs are moving it out of the way and so on. And then what's left is the more genuine and pure parts of the person, who are then being cooked into more presence. If the ritual is going the wrong way and people are in there pretending and carrying on and trying to be the powerful person in the sweat lodge and all, that's what gets cooked. And so then the ritual calcifies the arrogance and the pretension of the ego that wants to be seen as the leader of or the star of the sweat lodge. Hope I'm making sense. In a ritual, it's either gonna strengthen that which is essential and important and genuine, or it's going to solidify that which is false, pretentious, and arrogant.